Meantime, Seattle says it's time to start a new chapter for the city's police force. Back in 2012, the Federal Department of Justice and City of Seattle entered into an agreement restricting what SPD could do and not do, increasing federal oversight.
But now the city says that they have made progress on police reforms. Those reforms include how the department responds to complaints and how they help people in crisis. Our Dan Griffin live in downtown Seattle this morning with more on what the city believes the government oversight, why it's not needed anymore. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning to you. Yeah, you know, federal officials and city leaders got together yesterday to talk about the significant progress they say that the city and the police department have made since that 2012 consent decree. The police chief saying that they have made a lot of improvements here, but seriously, there is more work they need to do as they move forward here with this. So essentially, department officials said that SPD has transformed a number of things, including the department from the department in 2011 when federal investigators found officers were using force too quickly and escalated encounters far too often, to a situation where force was needed. Now, department officials also say they've been able to cut serious use of force down by more than half, and SPD has implemented new policies when it comes to helping people in crisis. They've also changed their response to complaints when it comes to bias policing, supervising officers, and identifying those who get too physical too often, according to investigators. Now, we know the Department of Justice and City of Seattle have asked a judge to terminate the 2012 consent decree, which gave the court oversight of reforms. The police chief says the numbers show that there is change happening, with reduced use of force down by about 60% and fewer complaints. But the Assistant Attorney General for the DOJ Civil Rights Division says SPD must still work on officer accountability and police crowd control tactics, especially when reflecting on the 2020 racial justice protests. Now, the judge has found Seattle not in compliance with the consent decree before when it comes to accountability. That was citing a 2014 case. Now, that's where a new agreement would come in to replace the decree, focusing on those issues according to federal officials.
If you think about 11 years, and I was an officer at the time, that many of our officers now today know nothing different other than the consent decree. And their exceptional work of really being able to be part of a learning organization, to really adjust and change and evolve through policies, through practices, through training, to making sure that we are on the cutting edge of what we need to do as a police department. It is their hard work that helps us get us to this point.
All right, so the bill for these reforms, the new policies, the database systems, and other elements of the overhaul has cost about $200 million. The mayor called it money well spent when he reflected on the changes, but leaders say the reforms are a model for other cities that are potentially facing these federal civil rights investigations. And they say while the work isn't finished, there is much more to be done. They can see the progress that has been achieved here, essentially. And we are looking to talk with other people who may have other viewpoints here. We've reached out to several of them. When we hear back from them, we'll bring that to you. For now, we're live downtown. Dan Griffin, Fox 13 News.